Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm talking about preparing for the new season. See you in a moment. If, like me, you've been working on swing technique over the winter months, now's the time to stop. We're getting very close to the season now, so now you've got to start to prepare yourself for the season, and that means the end of swing technique thoughts when you're playing golf. And in order to do that, you're going to have to hit a lot of golf shots without thinking about your technique. So my recommendation, first of all, is get out on the driving range with a bucket of balls, best on grass if possible, and practice your pre-shot routine. Practice the way that you go in and hit golf balls, and practice the things you're thinking about when you're doing that. The focus on the target, maybe a swing key in the form of some kind of a picture or a feeling, but you don't want to be thinking about turning your hips or getting your shoulders down or your arm position or your swing plane. All those things are going to basically get in the way of you getting a consistent shot. But by hitting enough balls with the pre-shot routine, you should actually start to see some kind of consistent shot shape. And it's this consistent shot shape that you want to be taking onto the round. If you're playing a golf hole and you know the ball is going to move from left to right, then you can calculate that into your shot. If you have no idea in what direction it's going to fly, then you're going to have to aim straight and hope that it doesn't go too far in one direction or the other. So the very first thing is to know where and how far you're going to hit the golf ball. Once you've done that, I would recommend you to take a lesson. Not necessarily because I want you to find a teacher to change your swing. On the contrary, I want you to find a coach to help you stay there. When a golf professional makes his plan for the season, he's looking to see his coach maybe every 3 or 4 weeks, but not to change his swing. On the contrary, just to kind of dial him back to where he was before. Even a golf professional is human, and the human being always tends to go against the point of least resistance. And if the point of least resistance is no hip turn, then slowly you don't do any hip turn. And if the point of least resistance is a slight sway, then suddenly you start swaying. And we all have these kind of tendencies in our swing, these mistakes that we tend to repeat again and again. And by having somebody who knows your swing, then you're going to be able to find your way back to where you were far, far quicker. It's also good to try and find a pro who can actually give you some technical data in the point of a launch monitor, both to be able to give you some idea of how far you're hitting each club in your bag, but also to show you how consistently your swing is working. I've actually found with my students, even if they're just hobby golfers, if they're not thinking about swing technique, there's not much more than maybe a couple of degrees of dispersion in their swing. But at the moment that they actually start thinking about their swing direction can vary up to 12 degrees, which means there's massive deviations in where the golf ball's going. So if you can actually get yourself to a point where you're repeating the same swing every time, even if the shot shape isn't one that you like, it should be repetitive, and you should be able to actually use that to build a strategy when you're on the golf course. The final thing is basically, together with your pro, to decide which guys are actually going to go in the bag. And I'm talking about your golf clubs here. We all have 14 clubs in the bag, but a lot of you are only able to hit half of them. And so it might be a good idea to kind of sort out the wheat from the chaff. Find the clubs which you like, the clubs which you trust, and the clubs which you are able to hit consistently, and take the other ones out of the bag. Don't go on the golf course, because they will tend to actually convince you that maybe you will hit the drive this time, or you will be able to smash that 3-iron over the water hazard. And that little guy ego is always going to think that today could be the exception to the rule, and then of course the next thing is the penalty shot and you're dropping a ball. It doesn't mean you're never going to be hitting your 3-iron on a golf course or your driver this season. It just means you want to make sure that you've got some trust with those clubs on the driving range before you take them onto the golf course. And it's a great opportunity if you're working with a coach to make these decisions together. If you want to do it by yourself, then all well and good, but I would definitely recommend that you get some kind of launch monitor, even if it's one of the cheaper variations on the round. There's a lot of good launch monitors out there which will at least give you kind of distance and dispersion numbers, but it would of course be beneficial, especially as far as your swings goes, to get some idea of what kind of swing path you have, what kind of swing direction you have, and how consistent your impact position is on the golf club, so that if anything goes wrong during the season, you can find your way back to where you were as quickly as possible. All of these things sound really very logical, but it's amazing to me how many golfers aren't doing them. Simple thing is, you've got to stop thinking about technique when you're playing golf, and you've got to practice not thinking about technique in order to be able to do it on a golf course. You need really a partner, a coach, somebody who helps you to keep that consistency in your swing during the season. And you need to know the clubs that you like and the clubs that you don't like, and not spend your whole time fighting with your own swing or fighting one of your golf clubs in the hope that maybe today you're going to win that fight, because unfortunately it's probably not going to happen. As ever, hope this information helps you. I hope you all have a great season. I'm going to be back far more regularly now that the season's begun here in Bavaria. We will see you all very shortly. Don't forget to hit the bell. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll be back very shortly. Bye now.